Merry Christmas, Whovians. Hope you've all had a good one, and it is a big one for all of us because we have The Church on Ruby Road, which has just aired. It's the first Russell Christmas special since The End of Time Part 1, and our first proper outing for Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor. I've been looking forward to seeing how this new era will kick off. So let's talk about it. There will be spoilers ahead about the episode. Please let me know your thoughts too, and check the links to the Horror Exchange below for more. So tonally, I think we all had a good impression on what this one was going to deliver. Given our previews have featured singing goblins with parody names, musical numbers, piratical action, and a dancing doctor, this one was always going to be a more jovial, light-hearted experience. That's something which just comes naturally from the Christmas specials, and it's all good because we definitely need levity within the show, and we experienced some pretty dark stuff in the 60th specials, so I was fully accepting that this one was likely going to be extremely sweet, perhaps to a sickening extent, but that's always been a niggle I've had with Christmas specials in Who. My focus going into this one was aimed primarily at the Doctor, Ruby, and the overall production to give us that indication of where we are heading next, the building blocks of this era, as it were. Well, generally on the whole, I came out of the other end of The Church on Ruby Road feeling rather refreshed, actually. First off, I think Ncuti has sank into the role with ease. Just those first opening little shots of him standing around looking ominous. There's a great deal of mystery surrounding the Doctor here from early on. This did give me shades of when the show returned in 2005. It was the human story first and foremost until the Doctor gradually became a presence and the intrigue tightened up. This felt like a 2023 equivalent of that, and while 2005's kickstart of the show felt of its time, this too feels like a current creation. Just little things like the increased number of songs in the soundtrack, the increased production quality, the subtle added maturity within a whimsical, silly Christmas special. While the 60th specials felt like a celebration of the first Russell era, this felt like a firm shift into his second. While Russell was away from Doctor Who, two fantastic series he created were Years and Years and It's a Sin. This new era of Who feels like it harnesses some of the quality elements found within both of those series. And by that I mean being able to confidently handle both positive and emotional elements while still feeling balanced, feeling dramatically heightened without being ridiculously over the top for the most part. I'm looking at you, Dr. Ruby Karaoke Scene, and also naturally carving a small world of supporting characters. Ruby's foster family and her little patch of neighbourhood I thought were quite well done, and let's see who the woman next door who knows what a TARDIS is. Where's those Rani rumours at? Come on! I haven't seen you in a while. So moving on to Ruby herself, again I found her to feel of her time, while also being incredibly likeable. So far she doesn't possess any irritating character quirks like the overconfidence of Amy or the overimportance of Clara. Here she felt relatable in a good sense. Sometimes modern Who companions are pushed as being like normal people for the audience to see eye to eye with, but then wind up becoming something exceedingly fantastical and exaggerated, getting put on a pedestal of magnificence. Though it's early doors for Ruby, and I'm sure the search for her true parents is going to become an important subplot, overall I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. She's nice but not forcibly nice. She's smart but not forcibly smart. She's quirky but not forcibly quirky. There's a plausibility to Ruby, nuances and niches which I thought suited the casting and didn't try to cram too much character into the person. It just allowed her to breathe more. A big help in this episode was just how quickly Ruby and the Doctor get along. The on-screen chemistry between Gatwa and Gibson is there with immediate effect. This has genuine potential for being one of the better paired Doctors and companions, where both sides of the coin fit perfectly, like Tennant and Tate, McCoy and Aldred, or Tom and Liz Sladen. They've got a dynamic going on which I thought, yep, I can see exactly why you were cast together, and I definitely see what Ncuti saw in Millie as part of the audition process. Now let's get on to the actual crux of the episode itself with the Goblin plot. Now generally in Christmas specials feels the villain side of things is never really important. You can chuck pretty much any old bollocks in there. It's the spectacle of the show itself that is the pull factor on Christmas Day. So I'm not going to be overly critical of the Goblin side of things here, given that it's just a necessary ingredient to keep things moving. The real driving force of this episode was introducing Ncuti and Millie and investigating the mystery behind Ruby's abandonment. On those fronts, I think it was a successful outing. With the Goblins, I mean, yeah, they didn't really do much, did they? I did really like the idea of the Goblins preferring to feed on coincidences, being attracted to forms of luck. That was an interesting idea, but the rest of the Goblins here was just a bit of Gremlins, a bit of Final Destination, and a bit of The Hobbit. Nothing spectacular, though I do think the production quality was stellar and they looked fantastic, especially the Goblin King. They just didn't feel like the major driver here. Ruby's character was. You might get some cute cuddly toys based off the Goblins, but not much more than that. And you know, I'm not really bothered about that. It's kind of what I expected. And also, yeah, to expand more on that musical scene, so I didn't really mind the Goblin side, but the Doctor and Ruby side was a bit mad, wasn't it? Like, fair enough, we've gone over 60 years without the show becoming a straight up musical, so this was something new, and I'm pretty sure we are expecting a musical episode ahead with Jinx Monsoon's character. However, it still felt so bizarre to me. I know these big hits have been a thing in years gone by in the Tennant era, like Song for 10, My Angel Put the Devil in Me, and The Stowaway, and to be honest, I do look back on those songs quite fondly. The show will always keep evolving, and rightly so, but my days, seeing the Doctor doing a dancing musical number in the same series the Doctor negotiated for peace with the Sea Devils, yeah, it still surprises me how much this show surprises me. And I mean, this is the episode immediately after the Spice Up Your Life scene, so if I'm still finding things that make me go, okay then yeah, we're going to be pushing some boundaries, aren't we? Just to wrap up a couple incidental points, I think seeing the new Sonic in practice makes me like it more than I previously did. I thought it was a horrendous design, but now I rather like the new direction. I still don't think it should be called a screwdriver. Call it a sonic device. That would be more fitting for this shape. But yeah, it's not as shabby as I originally took it for. We also get another Mavity reference, which I think is going to wind up being a much bigger thing down the line. And all the stuff in this episode regarding luck could tie into the superstitions created by the Doctor in Wild Blue Yonder. And finally, Davina was a pretty fun addition here. Not a bad guest appearance at all. I actually did get a couple chuckles out of her. On the whole, the church on Ruby Road served its purpose to me. This was never going to be an episode I'll want to come back to rewatch in future years other than doing marathons. It was never going to be an all-time classic, though I do think it's probably one of the better Christmas specials. All I wanted out of this one was to see where Russell was aiming, what stylistic impact the Disney money has created, and establishing our new Doctor and companion. For those objectives, I was ultimately satisfied, and the trailer for season 1, can we not call it that? It looks like we have some great adventures ahead. I'll see you in May for my next run of Doctor Who Honest Reviews. Once again, let me know what you thought of Ruby Road down below. I've been Connor from Unleash the Ghouls. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.